Hey friends, let's make a sign together. We're gonna do what I like to call a double-sided swinger. And no, not like that. These are the signs that you see that hang up like underneath the awning above a sidewalk, and they're not hinged, but they can move if the breeze blows or somebody wants to slap it. We're gonna make one that says tattoo. So first things first, I'm gonna go rip that down so we can prep it, get it ready to paint, figure out a layout, all that fun stuff. So come on, let's get cutting. Now, before we make something cool, again, since you guys are into cool stuff, you should check out my buddy LT. Right there. Garage Time with LT. He's a cool cat. He skates. He pinstripes. He builds cool stuff like mini trucks and Model A's and so on and so forth. So if you're finding yourself running out of content because I don't post as often as I should, you should check him out. He's all right. I think you'll like him. Cool? Cool. I'm gonna cut this. You check that guy out. Or else. Dude, totally ripped. But we made a big old mess. And since that's all the cutting I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up, and I will meet you guys. Turn around. Over there. Now, in the name of good content and short attention spans, and for the fact that you've seen me do this kind of stuff a whole bunch, I'm not going to bore you with all the boring stuff. Obviously, we just ripped this thing down, got to sand it, profile all the edges, but I think I'm going to radius the corners. And that's pretty simple, right? Hold on. Come on. Circle template. Trusty number 2. Believe it or not, the attention span is 3 to 5 seconds, which means that explaining this, I already lost you, so probably doesn't matter. But that's what everybody says, so. All right, I'm gonna do this. Why is it the handiest tool in the world always falls apart first? These things are great. These things are not. I think at some point I'm going to have to heat shrink tube or fuel line or heater hose line or something, epoxy. I don't know, but they don't stay on, so then you got to do that stuff. No bueno. So look, it doesn't even fit. That's how it goes. All right, there we go. Locking it down. Not too shabby. Boy, we got our hands in a little bit of everything. Like we got auto body class going on and antique restorations going on and sign painting and automotive stuff. Man, you know, you might ask, like, what is Corsobuilt? Really, what isn't Corsobuilt?
Thought we were watching Scooby-Doo.
Take 2. Hold on, let me get back to the start. Where's my cue? My cue's on the ground. There we go. Right there. Perfect. Action. You might be asking yourselves, what is Corsobuilt? Well, a more appropriate question might be, what isn't? Because we do it all. And that's why our channel's all over the place and our content's all over the place. And I'm all over the place. Squirrel. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, the whole point. We're in here to grab the sander so we can sand that down a little bit. We have a interface pad on there, which we do not need. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. This is my outside workstation. Beautifully repurposed. I dig it. 120. And what we got here? 220. That's what we were looking for. And just like everybody else says when you watch their videos, doing all this stuff one-handed, no bueno. Re-profile it from being harsh and angular, like IKEA furniture, to being smooth and round, like a 50s car. Pretty cool. Well, back to it then.
Back to it then.
Now I know what you're thinking, and I saw it too, don't worry, but there's a plan. And in case you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, you'll have noticed a little bit of chipping here, and that was on our edge. Clearly this board had been dropped, but the idea here is I'm gonna put some sort of aluminum channel up here, whether it be angle iron or some actual C channel. I gotta go see what we got at the Tractor Supply, so that I can fasten it through the channel, through the board this way. Because again, college town, bunch of idiots. This place is in between, where this is going is in between a bar and a dispensary, so of course people are gonna slap it. I should put some crushed glass in the clear coat, but that's just my opinion. So I'm gonna hang it in a very sturdy way, to where, like, if it was just an eyelet, it would not be ripped out if somebody's smacking this thing around. So I gotta make it a little bit more stout on top, and then that of course will give us more options for hanging it too, just because if there's nothing up in the structure that we want to anchor this thing to directly in line with where our anchors go, well then we can have a little bit of leeway with that. So that's cool, but we'll get all that figured out, don't you worry about that. I'm gonna get cleaned up here, and I'll see you back inside. We left off yesterday with this bad boy. We cut it, we rounded the edges, we rolled the edges, and we had all this chipping on here. Here's the solution. We got some aluminum that we're going to put up here to reinforce, so we covered up those chips, so that's cool. And then we're going to not only attach this to the board with T-nuts, we're also going to figure out how to hang it. So I think what I'm going to do is, when I determine where I'm going to drill, I'm going to thread those, and on the back side I'm going to put some of the nuts on. So there'll be a nut on the bottom and a nut on the top, and thread it in between. And we'll just recess that just a little bit for the nut. I think we can do it. maybe not. We'll find out. But that's what we're doing, so hang in there. Oh, got some other goodies too. Got our primer. I don't know if you can see that. And our gloss white enamel. And this is tintable with one shot, but it's cheaper to buy this than it is to buy a quart of one shot. So that's what we're going to use to base everything. Got to cut these down. Got to drill them out. Figure out where they're going. Some other goodies too. Foam rollers, 4-inch, 6-inch. We got some to take on the road in case we need it. I've got like 8 million of these, but I got another set just to keep in the paint kit. You never know. Hinges for other projects, and you always need a tape measure. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. Time to get started. Drill, baby, drill. Whoa. Dude, I just bought this thing. Look at that crap. What is up, dude? Do they make anything in America anymore? Man. I'm just going 80 style. What's up? How you doing? Lined up. Hold it tight. We're gonna punch those, drill those, and we good. Okay, so here's the fun part. We're going to attempt to drill down the diameter of these nuts.
Dive right on into these nuts.
Now it's super tight, so we got to be super precise, but I'd basically like to sandwich on this. There'd be one here, right? And then there'd be one on the other side as well, so that our hardware stays put in place. And that's going to be our hardware. So we're going to go down. We're going to center tap that one. Luckily, the wood looks like it's the grain's in our favor. So we're going to try that. And if we mess it up, then we mess it up. So let's give her a shot. There we go. So that should hold the wood in place. We're not going to go crazy tight on it. Perfect. Perfect. So the whole reason we did that was so that when we put this guy into place, right, we'd have to mark that. But there's a nut underneath, and then there can be a nut on the top, so when we put these guys in for the hangers, they don't move. They don't get ripped out. They don't go anywhere. So this is not attached to the board yet, but these are anchored into the other nuts on the back side of this. So once this is down, Everything will support one another and we're good to go. Now I'm gonna clean this crap up and I'll see you in there for some primer. Still deciding whether or not I want to put down base color across the whole thing, or if I want to work off a pattern and just do it where I need to do it. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and work on our layout, which, as you can tell, I already have it set up through the projector via MacBook, via iPad. It's up on the wall. Got my paper right here, so we'll go ahead and move this guy. So we will be making a pounce pattern like normal. I'll come in here with a straight edge. I'll get all this mapped out, and then we have a pattern to use on both sides. So I'm going to get on that. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Here we go. We have, well, technically we have 3 coats of prime because our signboard came pre-primed on both sides. We added 2 more coats of that. Just finished our 2nd coat of our main color, which is just white. You know, it's a sign, it's hanging, just good background contrast. So while that's flashing off and drying, we're gonna work on our pounce pattern. We have our layout all set up. So I'm gonna get that all pounced out and ready to go. Well, hey there. You know what we're doing today? We're doing sign stuff. Here's our signboard. Primed, base coated. Pouncing is done. Well, the pounce pattern is done. It's lined up, it's measured out, and I'm doing 2 sides, so I wrote my measurement over here on the side, just so I don't forget it, because it's usually day-long gaps in between working on stuff. White panel, which means either blue or red chalk. I don't think I have a pounce pad with red in it, so we're gonna go with blue. We're gonna pounce this thing up, 1 side for now, throw it up on the easel back here, and get rolling. And one of you guys had mentioned previously, let me get you up here a little bit, how you liked how I used the blocks to set up for my hands. Well, I leveled that one up. I don't know if I put this in the previous video, but I'm going to talk about it again because I think it's pretty cool. So, measured out and drilled up into my my easel here. Got me a couple bolts and a board, and I just line them up. And then it's height adjustable. Oh, what's that? It's too tall? Okay, hold on. How's that? Is that better? What? Too short? Okay. There you go. That one's a little tight. We haven't used it yet. But you get the idea, right? We have adjustable material holders. So I'm happy with that. It's kind of cool. I've already used it. It works really well. That way when I'm painting, I can just stand up and I'm not crouched over and I'm not reaching up, and I can sit down if I want. I just drop it all the way down and grab a stool. But for the most part, this is what I dig. I feel like standing up, working on a vertical surface or semi-vertical surface. I have the most dexterity, I have the most reach, and the most range of motion. So that's why I do it. If you don't do it, try it. Maybe it works for you. But now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pounce! Whoa, that's a lot. Now you don't have to use a pounce pad like this. You could be like Jack and use a dirty sock from a road trip. I'm pretty sure that's what he does, because, man, I've been in the van with that dude. Whew. And I'm not trying to make this a how-to, so I'm just gonna do some stuff. So just watch. That part about the dirty sock, that's 100% true. Ask Cherry Bomb. So now I'm gonna kind of work backwards. I'm gonna do all of my drops first. And with my drops, I'm gonna mix up some clear coat, but I'm gonna tint it because I want it to look like a legit shadow, not like a drop shadow, like a legit shadow. You know what a shadow is. So I'm gonna work on that. So yeah. That's Jack, special guest, fresh in from North Texas. So as I'm experimenting with this tinted clear, and we see all these brush marks, which is cool for going for a patina look, but Jack's all like, oh yeah, you got to pull it in one stroke, as I'm like on the last letter. So there you go, that's how that works. Went in here and I redid our clear coat, our tinted clear coat. I didn't like the way it came out. Usually when you do that stuff, as it's been purveyed to me, is that one stroke. And I'm not that guy. So I went back in and just dropped some gray over it. Now I'm going to come in and do our convex letters here, starting with the lighter portions, the darker portions, Kansas City teal and aqua. So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna knock it out. Let's go. Number 2, Tilly Quill. Mac Brush Company, Todd Hansen. Dig it. Hey everybody. So everything that you just watched, we're gonna do that all over again, just on the other side. So I think you only need to watch it once. So I'm gonna get after it and I'll show you what we got when we're done. And I do have an idea for a little bit of add-on, but we'll cover that when we get to that point. But that's where we left off. So now we're gonna do the other side. Let's wrap this thing up. Need to install our hardware for hanging. And I think we're gonna come in and just add a little something extra. I think we're gonna outline this in probably a maroon. But we know that this guy's gonna go on this side like this. So we have to put our T-nuts in on this side. I mixed up sort of like a maroon tinted burnt sienna kind of color, because right there on the window in front of where this is at is where our fox is, Kitsune, and there's red in the flames and orange in the fox, so we're going right in between to try to pick up some of that color and bring it forward. So let's see how we feel about this. And I guess I'm going to start with straight lines before I get into these curves. So let's do a T. Memory card's getting full, so we better get cracking. So normally I would wait for this all to dry, but we don't have that kind of time and I want to get this video out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little spacers in here and I'm going to tape those down. So between those and this hardware, that should give us enough distance to where we can flip this over and we're not touching the wet stuff completely down. So let's see how that works. Well, that's it. We're finished. We're done. Time to clock out. Time to check it out. We went in, mixed up a little bit of orange with some maroon to come up with a custom color. And we outlined this with a Virus 2 number 2. Check it out. Hanging and banging, 'cause the paint we was slanging.